First at 9, this Friday the 10th of May 2024. Parliament vacancy. Mujibur Rahman enters Parliament to fill the seat vacated after Derana Gamage's disqualification from Parliament. Supreme Court meanwhile moves to hear another petition filed by Derana. Digital economy. Government to expedite establishment of technology parks to attract crucial FDIs to Sri Lanka.
So we are mainly focusing Galle, Kurunegala, Kandy and Nuwara.
Investment drive. Investment promotion. State Minister meanwhile expresses confidence in tripling the $1 billion FDI target this year. Trincomalee to become the green energy hub.
This will be the hub for maybe solar, wind and of course green hydrogen.
Prolonged delays. Bar Association raises significant concerns over prolonged delays in judicial appointments.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
And a very warm welcome. You're joining us once again on Other Derana First at 9, your primetime English news service. And here we are with your top stories making headlines tonight. Mujibur Rahman was sworn in as a parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya to fill the vacancy created following the disqualification of Derana Gamage from holding a seat in Parliament. Rahman became the second parliamentarian of the parliament elected in year 2020 to be sworn in twice. On Tuesday, former State Minister of Tourism Derana Gamage lost her seat in Parliament, with the Supreme Court deciding that she is ineligible to hold a parliamentary seat. The decision was delivered upon consideration of a petition filed challenging the State Minister's parliamentary seat and citizenship.
Following the Supreme Court verdict, the Samagi Jana Balawegaya said former MP Mujibur Rahman, who resigned from Parliament last year to contest for the mayorship of the Colombo Municipal Council at the local government election, will be nominated to the seat that became vacant following the disqualification of Derana Gamage. The SJB's General Secretary Ranjit Maddum Bandara also informed the nomination of Rahman to the vacant parliamentary seat to the Election Commission. Last evening, a gazette notification was issued stating that Mujibur Rahman has been nominated by the SJB to fill the vacancy in Parliament. This morning, Mujibur Rahman was sworn in as a parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya.
Wish you all the best. Thank you.
The Supreme Court has moved to hear the petition filed by former State Minister Derana Gamage challenging a decision by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya party to revoke her party membership. The petition was heard today before a three-member Supreme Court judge bench comprising Justices Gamini Amarasekara, Kumuduni Wickramasinghe and Mahinda Samarawardena. President's counsel Faiz Mustafa, who represents petitioner Derana Gamage, requested a date to update the future process of the case. In response, the judge bench ordered the petition to be called on the 28th of May to determine the state of the petition. The leader of opposition Sajith Premadasa and General Secretary of the SJB Ranjit Madduma Bandara were named among respondents to the petition. Earlier, the SJB had decided to dismiss Derana Gamage from the party after she failed to follow the party's unanimous decision to vote against the 20th Amendment to the Constitution in year 2020. Opposition leader and leader of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya Sajith Premadasa decided to suspend Derana Gamage's party membership after her move to vote in favour of the constitutional amendment.
ජීවිතේ හැම තැනකදීම ස්මාර්ට් වෙන්න පොලිය විතරක් ගෙවාගෙන යන්න CDB Smart Draft.
Well, State Minister for Investment Promotion Dilum Amunugama expresses confidence that Sri Lanka will be able to attract $3 billion worth foreign direct investment by year end. Addressing media today, Dilum Amunugama said government has embarked on plans to develop technology parks across several districts in the country. Trincomalee is to be developed as the country's green energy hub with the support of India, and talks are also ongoing with entrepreneurs of Sri Lankan origin in Canada to build a $500 million industrial park in Kankasanthure in Jaffna.
The Ministry of Finance has set a foreign direct investment target of $1 billion for the Ministry of Investment Promotion. We are in the process of negotiating some crucial investments that can help us achieve that target. By the end of this year, we can triple this target. For example, the investment from the 500 megawatt wind power plant deal with Adani that was approved by the cabinet is $800 million. The investment for the oil refinery that will be established in Hambantota is $2.8 billion. We are also negotiating several small-scale investment projects. If we are able to sign agreements for these projects, we can triple the target that was set for us by the Ministry of Finance.
Minister, what's the plan for Trincomalee? Because this has been spoken a lot of for a long period, and there's an investment zone and there's a natural port. Yes. One of the most safest harbour in the world.
So Trincomalee also we are starting a zone, the Kapalture will be the zone which is connected to the port. But Trincomalee area and port, we want to develop it as the green energy hub of Sri Lanka or of Southeast Asia. So that is the main plan. We are working with India on how to execute that, because green energy obviously will have to sell most of it to India. This will be the hub for maybe solar, wind and of course green hydrogen that will be produced and exported to the Trincomalee harbour, the world. That is the plan. I was in Germany, in Hanover, at the Hanover Messe exhibition, which they had given big time priority to green hydrogen. So I had discussed with so many companies, and we are seeing who would like to, because we are blessed with the wind and the sun in that region, so we can make use of it.
While highlighting the crucial need to attract IT investments to Sri Lanka to support economic growth, Secretary to the Ministry of Technology announced that the government is focusing on establishing technology parks in districts including Kurunegala and in Kandy to attract much-needed foreign direct investment to the island. Addressing the media in Colombo today, Secretary Dr. Dharmasiri Kumaratunga said the reports on artificial intelligence strategy, which will be prepared by an expert committee appointed by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, will be finalized soon.
Media briefing on DigiEcon Global Investment Summit 2024, which will be held on the 25th of June in Colombo, was held at the Presidential Media Centre today.
Digital Economic Policy 2030 was approved by Cabinet last month, and the policy was drafted with the support of the World Bank and also in collaboration with the industry and also with the support of the academia. One of the main objectives of having the digital economic policy is to attract digital investment in Sri Lanka.
Attracting investment in the digital sector is crucial for scaling up business, startups, developing new technologies and creating new job opportunities. Last few years, employees migration from the country is increasing. Last year, it was more than 297,000. Increase in our IT services going out of country is one focus area for getting some investment to the country. Technology Park is also one major area which you have in this agenda. Technology Park brings together companies, startups, research institutions and government agencies, fostering an environment conducive to the innovative and collaboration effort for this bringing some investment to the technology park. So we are mainly focusing Galle, Kurunegala, Kandy and Nuwara. This can lead the development in new technologies, products and services that drive economic growth. AI Club is also one focusing area. We already selected the 100 schools for selecting the establishment of the AI clubs in schools, and AI strategy is already developed from the team appointed by His Excellency. They work towards this finalizing the AI strategy report.
When you're looking at the economic challenges what we have, it gives us a clear indication. One of the biggest pillars is we need to fast track the digital economic growth. It's not that easy to do that unless we have a structured plan. The good news is we have a structured plan, which is industry and government stakeholders, which is we have already started rolling out programs which is aligned with the digital economy strategy. From a Federation of IT point of view, we are looking at least pushing this contribution to the digital economy from national economy point of view to cross the 15 billion mark, which is possibly we will cross 90 billion or 90 billion plus by 2027-2028 with the forecast what we have with the currency getting strengthened.
As an industry, we have set an ambitious export revenue target of $5 billion by 2030. Achieving this goal will require a combination of organic and inorganic growth, including attracting new inward investments into the country. Therefore, as an industry, we view this investor conference as a timely event that will undoubtedly benefit both the industry and the country.
U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs Donald Lu is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka on Monday on a two-day official visit. He will visit his visit will be part of a broader tour of the South Asian region from the 10th to the 15th of May. Lu commences his tour in Chennai in India today, where he will embark on a two-day diplomatic mission across southern India before heading to Sri Lanka on the 12th of May. Issuing a statement, the U.S. Department of State noted that during his time in Sri Lanka, the Assistant Secretary of State will engage with officials from across the political spectrum and deepen the United States partnership with Sri Lanka. The statement also highlighted that Lu will remain and reaffirm the United States' support for Sri Lanka's economic recovery, as well as the importance of a robust civil society as a cornerstone of a free and democratic society. Following his stay in Sri Lanka, the U.S. official will travel to Dhaka in Bangladesh on the 14th of May, where he will once again engage in 2 days of diplomatic talks with Bangladeshi officials before concluding his South Asian tour. Taking you to our political segment, founder of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Basil Rajapaksa claims that the SLPP is ready to either strike new alliances or dissolve existing ones for the betterment of the country. He made this statement while joining the inauguration of the SLPP Election Operations Centre in Bathramulla.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today inaugurated its Elections Operations Centre for the upcoming presidential and general elections in Bathramulla under the patronage of the party's founder Basil Rajapaksa. Following the inauguration ceremony, Basil Rajapaksa spoke about the SLPP's preparation for the upcoming presidential elections.
ඔබතුමාගේ දේශපාලන දැනීම අනුව පොදු ජන පෙරමුණේ ඡන්ද පදනම කොතනද තියෙන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ? 69 ලක්ෂ තාම තියෙනවද?
ඒක ඉතින් ජන ඡන්දයක් තියලා බලමු.
පක්ෂයේ මෙච්චර අමාරු වෙලාවක තියෙන වෙලාවක ඔබතුමා ඇයි ජාතික සංවිධායක ධූරය බිමින් තිබ්බේ?
තරුණ කට්ටිය දෙන්න කියලා ඔයාක් මම දැන් කිව්වේ.
දැන් එතකොට ඔබතුමාගේ කාර්ය මොකද්ද මින් ඉදිරියට?
සමාජිකයෙක් හැටියට වැඩ කරනවා.
මැතිවරණ කොමිසම සභාව කියන විදිහට සැප්තැම්බර් 17 සිට ඔක්තෝබර් 16 අතර මැතිවරණ තියන්න පුළුවන්. පොදු ජන පෙරමුණේ අපේක්ෂකයා කවුද කියලා ඊට කලින් කොච්චර කලින්ද කියලා.
ඒක තමයි ඉක්මන් කරන්න හදන්නේ.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂේ නැත්නම් වර්තමාන ජනාධිපතිතුමත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ගමනක් යනවද නැත්නම් පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ තනිව යනවද?
රට වෙනුවෙන් ඕන කෙනෙක් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්නත් කැමතියි වෙන් වෙන්නත් කැමතියි.
Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga is of the view that former executive presidents are misusing privileges they are entitled to. Speaking to media, she went on to criticize former SLFP chairman Maithripala Sirisena's actions, which she believes caused damage to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
I own 4 vehicles provided by the government. They are in use for 13 years. I returned 7 vehicles given to me. I was provided with 10 vehicles by Mahinda Rajapaksa when I left my government, and I handed over those vehicles to my security officials. When I was president, my children lived on the upper floor of my house. There was an account at Prema City stores for the food items we consumed, that is for the items bought for the upper floor. I covered those expenses. However, on the lower floor, all expenses of official purposes were covered by the government. I learned to do so from my mother. No other president or prime minister has done so. I do not hold any other privileges now. I own 4 vehicles, I have my salary, I'm retired with 25,000 rupees. Once Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed office in the first or second cabinet meeting, he increased his salary to nearly 100,000 rupees, stating that 25,000 rupees was insufficient. Salaries of ministers as well as pensions were increased accordingly. My pension, however, was not increased. I continue to receive 25,000 rupees till Mahinda Rajapaksa left his his presidency. Without using any of the funds, I deposited my pension in a separate account at the Bank of Ceylon. I receive 98,000 now and have been using it for charity work. The current president is not misusing this. However, others are doing so. I am aware that the Ranil Wickremesinghe government granted 1 billion rupees to a former president to build a luxurious residence behind his official residence in Vijayarama Mawatha. However, I do not know what it is for.
නිවාසයේ පිටිපස්සේ දැන් තවත් සුඛෝපභෝගී නිවාසයක් හදාගෙන තියෙනවා. මොකකටද මන් දන්නේ
He has no legal right to do so. If this decision was made by former chairman of SLFP Maithripala Sirisena, he is a person who set fire to his own father's paddy storage due to a personal dispute. Such an individual will have no issue in destroying the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. His actions were mentioned in a book written by his own daughter.
The Criminal Investigations Department conducting inquiry into the controversial revelation made by former President Maithripala Sirisena regarding the Easter Sunday attacks today informed court that the former president's two statements to the CID are contradictory. The CID also submitted that evidence gathered from CCTV footage are contrary to the statements. During the hearing of the case today, Maliga Kanda magistrate Lochani Abevikrama ordered the Criminal Investigations Department to conduct an urgent investigation into the statements given by former President Maithripala Sirisena pertaining to the Easter attacks. Considering the facts presented before court, the Maliga Kanda magistrate further directed the CID to take appropriate action regarding former President Sirisena if he had committed an act with criminal liability. The progress of the investigation was ordered to be reported to court on the 26th of July. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has raised concerns regarding the prolonged delay in appointing judges to fill vacancies in the Court of Appeal. In a letter to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Bar Association highlighted that there are as many as 5 vacancies in the Court of Appeal at the current moment. BASL stated that they are duty-bound to express deep concern over this issue and it deserves urgent attention. The association further stated that the efficiency and effectiveness of the judicial system will be held back when key positions remain vacant for extended periods. Additionally, the absence of a full bench in the superior courts was noted to diminish the diversity of perspectives and expertise crucial for comprehensive and balanced adjudication. While the Bar Association of Sri Lanka acknowledges the complexity and importance of the appointment process, they have requested the President to give his utmost priority to ensure the prevailing situation does not continue indefinitely. The Bar meanwhile expressed their sincere commitment to continue to safeguard the principles of democracy and the sovereignty of the citizen enshrined in the Constitution. Welcome back to the news. The 2 floating solar pilot projects, which were implemented with the financial and technological assistance from the Republic of Korea in collaboration with the Ministry of Power and Energy and the Sustainable Energy Authority, are nearing their completion. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara stated that the 2 projects of 1 megawatt each in Chandrika in Ambilipitiya and in Kiri-Ibam in Sevanagala is constructed with a financial grant from the Korea Institute for Advancement of Technology under the Korean Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy. The State Minister added that the project is implemented with technical assistance and construction by Yoshing Engineering Private Limited, Bosang Powertech Co. and Limited and Skotra Company Limited. The 2 projects commenced in 2023 and are expected to be completed by July this year. The Colombo Bourse surged with a notable gain of over 100 points today, marking the second consecutive day of bullish trends as investor sentiment remained optimistic, mainly towards the banking sector, with Commercial Bank and NDB Leasing as positive contributors. Moreover, investor interest was drawn to index heavyweights such as John Hughes Holdings and LOLC. Accordingly, bullish sentiment prevailed throughout the day, driving positive trading and leading the ASPI to surpass the 12,500 mark for the first time in 2 years. Ceylon Grain Elevators PLC was the top contributor to market turnover today. Buoyed by resurgence in overall market sentiment and declining interest rates observed at the recent Treasury bill auction, retail participation continued to strengthen in the equity turnover. And US stocks rose as investors eagerly awaited comments from Federal Reserve officials to get more clarity on the US monetary policy path after economic data this week supported bets of interest rate cuts. Wall Street index were inching closer to record highs following a sell-off last month as a slew of economic data pointed to a cooling US labor market, raising expectations that the Fed will cut borrowing costs more than once this year. A much better than expected earnings season was also helped put the benchmark S&P 500 and the tech-savvy Nasdaq Composite on track for the third consecutive week of gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up for the 8th straight session, its longest daily winning run since December, and set for a fourth week of gains. While most Fed policymakers have reiterated that the next policy move will be a rate cut, doubts still remain about when the easing will begin. Traders are currently pricing in 45 basis points of rate cuts by the end of 2024. And the Sri Lankan rupee closed weaker against the US dollar today. Here's a look at how the rupee exchange rate worked today. That wraps up tonight's edition of First at 9. I'm Indira Yamuath. Good night.